Now, what I want to say when it comes to a general Pat Riley rant, this isn't really about the press conference. However, the press conference kind of sparked this up. Um, Pat Riley does not have good relations with his players. I mean, really, he does not have good relations with the players. So LeBron James, let's talk about LeBron James for a second. Those LeBron James years, easily the best thing that ever happened to Miami. That's a lie. Dwayne Wade is the best thing that ever happened. But player wise, he's the best player we've ever had. We had the most success within that window when he was on the team. And let's just say it how it is. If LeBron stayed on the Heat for the rest of his career, way more championships, way more championships. I mean, really, you would, and as a GM, you would think you would try to go above and beyond to keep somebody like that, but just didn't happen. So, there's a lot of stories going around talking about, LeBron was eating cookies and Pat Riley told him he threw out his cookies. That is whatever. That's BS. I don't really buy into that. LeBron himself actually debunked that. But, him and LeBron did not have a good relationship. Hence LeBron leaving in 2015 to go back to Cleveland. You lost LeBron to Cleveland, bro. God damn. I mean, it's his hometown. He probably would have ended up going there regardless because he wanted to get that ring with his hometown. But like, I just feel like you did not make the effort to keep him like you could have and should have. Um, D Wade, you lost him for like 2 seconds. I mean, he went to Chicago. That was cool. His home team got to put on the Bulls uniform. That's cool. You let him go to Cleveland. You pissed me off with that. Dwayne Wade should have retired on the Heat. He should have never left the Heat. He should have done exactly like Kobe did, stayed on in the same uniform his entire career, a lifelong Heat. That would have been beautiful. But you let him go. You let him go. Ridiculous. Actually ridiculous. Now, Jimmy, the Jimmy situation is just really, really crazy. Um, this man had Jimmy for 5 years, really so many opportunities to, win a chip. Jimmy dragging a subpar team to the finish line, not crossing it, just not quite crossing it, but he's putting that work. And you didn't put any effort to helping him. When he wants help or anything, or he has some kind of little mistake, you start glaze or talking crazy about him on the mic. You start doing BS like that. You don't want to give him an extension. Now, you can make the argument he's aging, blah, 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 blah. Dude, you treated him like garbage. Now, I'm not going to say you didn't appreciate, you didn't do whatever. Dude, this man dragged your sorry ass rosters to the finals year after year. He stuck with you year after year. Revived the franchise, by the way. We were garbage before we got him. Revived the franchise, and you can't give him the courtesy of an extension. You don't want to keep him. You were just fine with leaving him, dude. It's like you don't care about your relations with your stars. You don't care. And another player that really adds on to that, Shaq, treated Shaq like fucking buns. Now Shaq is definitely not you know he's not a perfect player, especially personality wise. He showed up. The story goes he was late to practice, or I think he was 5 minutes early to practice, right on time, something like that. Pat Riley sent him home. There were an issue like that, and you really drove him out of town. That's why he left. Now he did get, he was washed pretty much after that '06 chip, but still, man, you drove him out. No, no, no real. There's no real like when Pat Riley loses a player, it's not really like on good terms, except D Wade, I guess, but he really retired more so. It's just more so like we have no relationship. That's what I see. It's like we have no relationship. There's nothing to talk about, and when you do hear a story, it's never good. when it comes to Pat in the start. That last point, I don't know. Leave it alone. Ignore it. Next. Um, yeah, he's an overrated general manager. That's just like call it how it is. So I'm gonna go just point by point, just letting you know why he's an overrated GM. Now, overrated does not mean bad. And I don't want to hear any whining. Overrated does not mean bad, so don't start crying. Now, the big three fell in his lap. Now, the glory days in the Miami Heat, the big 3 days, the back-to-back chip days, the LeBron years, a lot of glaze comes from those years, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. But there's a lot of other glaze about him as a GM landing that big three. Now, we're gonna have to talk about this. He Let's not sit here and act like Pat Riley went out and made individual moves to pick up these players like on his own free will, jumping out to it. No, Shaq, I said Shaq, LeBron rather, D Wade and Chris Bosh, all in the same draft class, that '03 draft class, all of them somewhat homies, they all conspired together to come to join the team. All of them. I'm hearing they even talked about going to other places like Chicago. So they were talking about this before. They would have got together with or without Pat Riley. With or without Pat Riley. They would have gone somewhere else if they had to. So it just so happens they all agreed to that and they all agreed to the pay cut and you were able to get them signed. Barely. Not saying barely as in you barely did it. I'm saying barely as in the salary cap because there's three superstars. But you didn't go out and make magic happen. Those players teamed up. So I'm tired of the narrative that he put that together. No, you didn't. Shaq fell in his lap. Now I might insert the clip. I might not if I'm lazy.
We saw in Dwayne Wade, wow, in 2 years, and we finally said, okay, let's go after somebody else. And I didn't go after Shaquille. I mean, he just popped up, and so we ended up winning the championship. But that wasn't good enough. Then we had to go out and get Jay Will, and we had to get Antoine. We had to get Pose, and the last one was playing blackjack with Gary Payton in Vegas.
He said verbatim in the press conference yesterday that Shaq kind of popped up. He didn't go out and acquire Shaq because his point in the press conference when he mentioned that was that he doesn't just go out and make moves. The moves come to him to an extent. To an extent, Pat. To an extent, but there gets to a point where something has to change, and it's not gonna just change. Things don't change unless you change something. You're not changing shit. Come on, bro. Change something. Now Shaq fell in his lap. He said it himself. I don't have to elaborate. He said it himself. Now, if we want to talk about recency, um, you are not a good GM. Let me retract that statement. You are not that great of a GM. Now, your best pickup, in my opinion, has been PJ Tucker. PJ Tucker was a gritty defender and a corner three ball demon. That man was a really big help to us in the playoffs all season long, but in the playoffs, he was really like that was a key player for us. We lost him to a conference rival, by the way. Just to mention. Didn't re-sign him, let him go to a conference rival. Whatever. His next pickup, Kevin Love, bro, he's washed. Need I say more? Decent, washed. It looks good on paper because of his name. In reality, no, washed. Kyle Lowry, pretty washed. Had his moments. He did have his moments, but all in all, he was pretty washed. That man was not the answer we needed. Terry Rozier. Now, I actually really liked the Terry Rozier trade. He was actually a really good player on the Hornets. Actually, bucket. You scored at not I will. He was a great scorer. So at the time, we really needed scoring because, as I mentioned, we were a bottom offense for years. So that was a good pickup on paper. I'm happy with that. I was actually really happy when I saw that trade happen. Unfortunately, Terry Rozier, you didn't pan out. That's not Pat's fault. That's your fault. You're literally getting accused of throwing games. What are you doing, my brother? What are you doing? Andrew Wiggins, again, good on paper. He had a pretty good game. I think he had a 40 bomb. He hasn't been that good in the playoffs. I give him somewhat of a benefit of the doubt because he just got to the team and he's adjusting to everything. So as of right now, he hasn't panned out. Davion Mitchell has already panned out. That man has shown up when we needed him. He's a hustle. He's a great defender. Amazing. Wrong Mitchell. Wrong D Mitch, buddy. Wrong D Mitch 45, buddy. We needed the other one, Pat, but it's okay. That was a good one. Now, another next thing makes him overrated. He would rather build from within than seek outside help. Now, building from within is a great thing. Now, I could argue, well, actually, building from within, yeah, I get it, yeah, but but it gets to a point when the team needs outside help. Now, it's always good to build from within, but there gets to a point where your team is not doing good. It's the same thing is happening. History is repeating itself, and all you need is one more piece, and you got to get that piece. As a GM, you got to be able to recognize those moments and act on it. So many years, dude. I feel like I've had the same opinion for years. So many years of Jimmy being on the doorstep, and either Tyler Hero gets hurt, Goran Dragic got hurt, Bam got hurt the first finals. So many injuries in the playoffs, and it's just always been one piece. We've lost in 6 games. Now people want to make it seem like we made the finals and got molested by Denver. Yes, I admit we did somewhat get molested, but we took them both. We took the Lakers and the Nuggets to 6 games. We took Nikola Jokic and we took LeBron James and Anthony Davis to 6 games apiece. You bro, if you add one more piece, we got that shit on lock, bro. The first year you should have been like, all right, cool. I mean, the first year I could see that, we weren't healthy. We almost got it. So, I could see running it back the first year, maybe. But we ended up getting swept after that. So once you get swept right after you're at the brink of the final, for you to get swept right after you made the finals, that tells you that you have the roster to get to the finish line and there's something missing that's preventing you. And it's very grossly apparent when you're getting swept first round. You got at that point, I feel like the light should have been flashing, get another piece. Like, remember, D Wade in '05 went on a run, I believe, in the playoffs. That man was playing, and Pat was like, okay, let me go get Shaq because that's a piece that now he did say Shaq popped up, but come on, that should be something you remember. Like, when we get right there, sometimes you just got to add a piece. You should have recognized, this is one of those moments. I need to add a piece. Never happened. And consequently, we never won. Now, next thing, superstars always request to come to Miami, and we never get them. Oh my God, bro. There's so many players. I'm so tired of it. Like, there's so many players, and it pisses me off because I'll open up my phone and I'll see some bullshit like John Morant in a fucking Heat jersey, or I see some bullshit like Kevin Durant in a Heat jersey, or I see some bullshit like Donovan Mitchell in a Heat jersey, bullshit like that, and it pisses me off. You would think I'd be happy, but oh boy, this dude wants to come to Miami. Yeah, I'm pissed off because I know I'm not gonna get him because I know Pat Riley isn't gonna make a move to go get him because Pat Riley's gonna be like, oh, run it back. Run it back. Run it back. Fucking 5 years until you drive your superstar away. Then you want to antagonize him. Fucking bullshit, bro. I kind of already covered this last point. I'm not going to touch on that. We got one more slide. Now, this was actually the last. Sorry, this was actually the most difficult thing for me to write out. The pros of having Pat Riley as a GM, or the good things I like about Pat Riley. I'm kidding. No, no, this was very easy. Heat culture, as we know it, it came from Pat. Now, I'm not gonna give him all the credit, but majority of the identity of the Miami Heat, it came from Pat Riley. He's that tough and gritty nature of building up players through hard work and competitiveness and just that winning culture. It came from Pat. Pat was already a winner from a player, from a coach, all of that before he came to Miami. He brought championship DNA to Miami. He built that up. I give you that credit and I thank you for that. He stands by his decisions as well. That's something that's really good to have as a GM or just as a basketball mind as a person standing by your decisions. Now, this is also a negative for him. Also a negative for him. But in other instances it's very positive. It's very positive. He just can't recognize when it's not. So standing on your decisions is a very good thing because it's very easy as a GM to be like, well, let me go trade my best player for fucking a superstar. It's really easy to do shit like that, but he didn't. That's a problem though, as of right now. But in general, that's a good thing. I'm happy for that. Yeah, I mean that's really the main things I wanted to touch on with Pat. Um, the issues I have with you is you're so caught up in the glory days and you think that things are just gonna pop up and work out if you just stick with the program. And that probably is true. But dude, and there comes to a point where you have to go on the offensive and make a move, buddy. I mean, I'm not gonna tell you how to do your job, but yes I am. Do your job, buddy. Do it better. Go make a move. Do something, bro. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it, bro. I'm actually tired of it. Now, you did say we are not gonna run it back. I hope that's true. I hope that's true. Unlike all these other people, I'm not delusional to just believe you. You said most likely. All right, buddy. Show me something. Show me something. I really hope I can get on here in a month or so's time and be like, oh my God, Pat Riley, and just glaze him. I really hope I can start doing that soon. I don't want to hate you, Pat Riley. You make me hate you. I don't want to hate you. People act like, oh, you just hate Pat Riley. You just like hating on Pat Riley. I do like hating on Pat Riley. I do like hating on Pat Riley. But in reality, I really wish I had nothing to say about you. I really wish you made the proper moves, and I really wish my team had a ring right now. Yes, we have a ring. We have high standards thanks to you, Pat. I really hope that you can make something show for it. That way I don't have to hate on you. And I'll happily glaze you if you make a move that I enjoy. Now, Terry Rozier, um, Davion Mitchell, those kind of trades, I actually praised him for. I gave him his credit. I'm not all hate when it comes to Pat Riley. I give the man his credit when he deserves it. But I just really hope you give me some more stuff to praise because as of recently you've just been pissing me off and pissing me off again. So that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about with Pat Riley. I'm sure someday I'll think of something else where he'll piss me off again. Or maybe I'll just remember a specific instance. I don't know. I'm sure I'll mention it though. Hopefully the future's brighter for Pat Riley. He's 80 years old, so I'm not sure how much of a future we have. Knock on wood. Oh man, that's unfortunate. I'm not nearby any wood. Yeah, I mean, I hope you stay around a lot longer. I hope that you improve your act, and I hope we get some Heat championships from most of all. That's the most important thing. That's all I really care about. Just get us some chips, buddy. You haven't gotten us that. Jimmy's gotten us our success. I don't credit you for that. So show me something. Give me something to glaze, my boy. Besides that, that's all I really had to talk about. Catch y'all boys in the next vid.